And Disney trying to bury Roger Rabbit for a twist reason. Why did they try to bury Roger Rabbit? Roger Rabbit was actually a good show back then to watch. I ain't lying to you. I don't know why Disney was trying to do it.
Even if you haven't seen it, you know everybody's talking about Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
For a moment, Roger Rabbit looked like Disney's next cartoon superstar.
How did they do that?
Disney pushed him into merchandise, theme park attractions, and even more theatrical shorts. That pushed his cartoon chaos in even more extreme directions.
You don't want to burn your weenie.
Only you can prevent forest fires.
Everyone's talking about Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Hold on, go ahead.
His cartoon chaos in even more extreme directions.
You don't want to burn your weenie.
Only you can prevent forest fires.
Everyone's talking about Who Framed
I mean, it tell itself. it tell itself. I'ma just say it tell itself at its finest, bro.
Only you can prevent forest fires.
I'm along with Roger with this. I'm not gonna hold you.
Everyone's talking about Who Framed Roger Rabbit, whether there's going to be a sequel.
And then that future just disappeared.
No, there won't be a sequel.
Behind the scenes, Disney spent decades trying to bring him back through canceled sequel ideas, expensive test footage, and revival attempts that each exposed a different problem.
Has any movement been made that you guys are aware of on a sequel?
There is movement, but it's not in the front.
But it all comes down to a bizarre legal twist that makes Roger Rabbit's missing sequel look like just the beginning of the story, and reveals just how strange things got when Disney had to decide how far they were willing to go once Roger started to slip away. But to understand why Roger Rabbit was always harder for Disney to control than he seemed, we have to go back to the deal that made him possible. Because before Roger became a hit, that arrangement was already kind of a miracle, and also a warning sign.
Thank you, Mr. Valiant. I'll guard them with my life.
And knock off the Mr. Valiant stuff. Call me Eddie, like everybody else.
Now, as many other Roger Rabbit videos have covered, the original story came from outside Disney, from Gary K. Wolfe's 1981 novel, Who Censored Roger Rabbit? A strange detective story Disney had set its sights on before it was even published.
I get this call on my home phone, and a guy on the other end of the phone says, "Hi, is this Gary K. Wolfe?" I said, "Yeah, yes it is." He says, "Well, this is Roy Disney from the Walt Disney Company." And I said, "Yeah, right."
Desperate for something fresh to jolt its live-action studio back to life, Disney bought the rights and developed an early version of Roger, only for it to disappear when the studio's leadership changed.
Mr. Valiant, you have beautiful features, so strong and well-defined.
Chipped out of granite, that's me.
This new leadership still saw the potential, but they didn't want a small, quirky detective movie. They wanted a bigger, wilder blockbuster, one that could rebuild Disney's identity around a new animated star who felt nostalgic to adults, fresh to kids, and dangerous enough to feel unpredictable.
When I saw Jessica, it made my fantasy look really tame. And I felt like the most boring man in the world. I thought even my sexual fantasy don't come up to Disney.
The problem was that 1985 Disney still didn't have the influence, confidence, or internal knowledge to make that version of Roger Rabbit on its own.
No one wanted to work for Disney.
They needed the kind of Hollywood clout and technical know-how that only someone like Steven Spielberg could bring.
I really feel that this is a movie that we're making for Walt.
While this solved their biggest problem, it created a very different one. To get Spielberg on board, Disney made an unusual bargain. Spielberg would get major creative control and a large share of the profits, while Disney focused on the characters' merchandising. That made sense on paper, because they saw Roger's marketing potential as enormous. But it also meant that their newest cartoon star came with heavy strings attached.
I just flew in, and boy, am I on fire!
The Once Who Framed Roger Rabbit was released and quickly became...
I wanted somebody in the world still got that. I might want to buy that off you one day. Who knows?
In one of the biggest movies of the 1980s, all of that was tomorrow's problem.
2 thumbs up and 2 jaws dropping open in admiration.
For now, Disney had a generational hit on its hands, and even with those strings attached, had every intention of turning Roger Rabbit into one of the biggest merchandising machines the studio had ever built.
What's going on? I'm trying to introduce tonight's movie.
Chapin, please! I can't believe it! I'm late again! I'm late! You don't understand!
Roger, we're filming.
Almost immediately, the Walt Disney Company went into overdrive to turn Roger Rabbit into one of its new long-term faces.
It's Roger Rabbit's first Christmas at Disneyland, and he can't wait to get it.
I wonder why they don't really show his faces in the Disneyland. He's not really the only character they really don't show his faces that much, too. The Muppets, I'm surprised they don't got people like dressed up like the Muppets and stuff like that, like Kermit, Piggy, what's it called? Don't say, hold on. What's that man? It's a bear. Don't get me wrong. I got it on the back of my dresser. Hold on. Not Snuggles. Fuzzy, I think. I think his name is Fuzzy.
That's me!
What started as the usual assortment of toys, games, comics, clothing, and theme park appearances soon became more substantial, with Disney giving Roger the same kind of treatment they'd normally reserve for one of their classic characters. And just 1 year after his release, Disney was using brand new Roger Rabbit shorts to help launch its other movies. First with Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and then Dick Tracy.
Coming June 15th, Dick Tracy. I'm on my way. And Roger Rabbit are teaming up for the entertainment event of the year.
Larger and more permanent theme park lands built around Roger were being designed, with Hollywoodland in Disneyland and Roger Rabbit's Hollywood at Disney MGM Studios.
Coming to the Disney MGM Studios theme park will be the all-new Mickey's Movie Land. Roger Rabbit's Hollywood, with a wild ride on a Toontown trolley.
Each was reported to have rides, shows, character meet and greets, and were intended to create a physical home for the character. But all of that was the easy part. Disney could sell Roger, put him back into theatrical shorts, and build him a permanent corner within their parks. But turning him into a full-fledged long-term franchise required the one thing that had once felt impossible.
Morning, Roger. Yeah, pleasant, isn't it?
Recreating that original miracle with the sequel to Who Framed.
And what about Who Framed Roger Rabbit, the sequel?
That sequel is going to get made, trust me. Yeah, I mean, we have a great script. We're just trying to pull it together and see if we can pull it off, but we're ready to go. If somebody says go, we're there.
Work on a full-fledged Roger Rabbit sequel began soon after the first film was released. But from the very beginning, nobody could agree on what that sequel should actually be, with Spielberg and Disney exploring wildly different versions at almost the exact same time. And within months of Who Framed Roger Rabbit's completion, Steven Spielberg was already exploring a sequel with a young J.J. Abrams.
I got to meet Steven. Joe Mazursky and I went in for a meeting. Actually, it was about a Roger Rabbit sequel. And we were
what?
Yeah.
Whoa, hang on a second. No. Wait, you don't just gloss over that.
Yeah. Honestly, it was, we never really even got to that phase. We were writing an outline, and it just honestly, it went away before it was anything.
Around the same time, Disney developed a bizarre World War II prequel that made it all the way to a first draft. Titled Roger Rabbit 2, The Toon Platoon, it promised an original story for Roger, Jessica.
I mean, Roger, you're a lucky guy. It's not a lot of Rogers in the world that get a little baddie. I'm gonna just keep it real with you. Ain't a lot of Rogers in the world that get, like a fine, tall glass and fine a woman. You're lucky. You're a lucky man.
and the world before Who Framed Roger Rabbit. As screenwriter Nat Malden put it,
one of the ideas that came up was, what about not a sequel but a prequel? How did Roger get to Hollywood? Because we wanted to do the idea came up to do a war picture.
According to the script, Toon Platoon would have opened with baby Roger being found in an Easter basket and adopted by a human farming family in Kansas. Roger grows up, heads west searching for his biological mother with a new human companion, gets discovered as a comedy star, and is eventually pulled into the war. The script also introduces us.
See now what I was about to say. That would have been good. That would have actually been good right there. I'm not gonna hold you because that how they did for Tarzan. Tarzan, they had switch up his role when he was young and stuff like that, and he met like just different other monkeys and went to different places and all that other stuff. I ain't lying to you. Whoever draw this and put their work to it, you did your thing. I'm gonna give you that. You did your thing.
To Jessica. Combat was quite a departure.
That would have been clean. Whole time Buzz Buddy is his dad. Oh, that clean.
Never in my life seen Spielberg react like this. You know what would be great? Have Tom Cruise in a Toon plane taking on the Luftwaffe. And I have never seen, and not that I know the guy that well, Steven was bouncing off the walls. He just thought that was the greatest idea. That would sell 5 billion movie tickets.
Soon after Toon Platoon was written, the script was reworked and retitled to Who Discovered Roger Rabbit. It kept the same basic origin story, but swapped the World War II.
Hey, Daddy Boo. We'll find so. What's this dude's name? I did a history of this man. We watched it. This is the first cartoon though. Oswald. Happy the Salesman. That's the stop. Because I know how to sing the song. I know the song to it too. You never find another sweet man like me. When I die, you'll when you in the sock on the head. Oh, we're trying to go down like my watches. No, I died standing tall. I don't know who this pig is. I know this. I know the cat. I know that's Stampy cat. Not Stampy. That's Felix the cat. Felix the cat. This a frog? Who this frog is? Hey, just got a random dog right here. Okay. Imagine I get this as a tattoo. I don't know about this pig though. This pig looking kind of strange.
Setting for a late 1930s Hollywood mystery, much closer in tone to the original film. Roger's human counterpart goes from aspiring actor Richie Davenport to struggling talent agent Sid Savage, who guides him along his path to fame. The wartime rescue and assassination plot became a Hollywood conspiracy involving a fading silent film star and a mad surgeon. The star kidnaps Jessica, now a shy buttoned-up aspiring performer, to steal her singing voice, while the surgeon freezes tunes and experiments with transplanting their features onto humans. The story ends with Roger and Jessica becoming Hollywood stars and, again, discovering that Bugs Bunny.
See, Roger, you ain't have to look at the camera like that. You wasn't slick. You saw you looking at the camera. You know what I'm saying?
Roger and Jessica becoming Hollywood stars.
Look how he looked at the camera. He know he was about to get some. You ain't slick. Like, we know that's your guy. You know? We see you. We see you.
And again, discovering that
Oh,
Bugs
wait,
Bunny
whoa,
is
hold on.
Roger's father.
Oh, so wait. Why she would die like that? Hold on. Why she would die like I ain't gonna show it again because I don't want this video to get taken down. Why she did that to my dog like that, though? Hey, Bugs Bunny? He a deadbeat.
It's shameful, but
Hey, man, hold on. Bugs Bunny, look at
Discovering that
deadbeat.
Bugs Bunny is Roger's father.
it's shameful, but it's a living.
But neither Toon Platoon nor Who Discovered Roger Rabbit ever got past this early script phase. And while there's a theory floating around that Spielberg's future work on Schindler's List caused a lack of interest, Malden has a more grounded theory.
Just imagine how much more a movie like The Toon Platoon would have cost to have made in 1992, and whether they, whether they wanted to do it again. You know, I most of the time, it comes down to money, and it's easy to pay a little money and develop a film.
Already, Roger Rabbit 2 was starting to look less like an obvious follow-up and more like a very expensive identity crisis. But whatever ultimately stopped these scripts, they weren't quite the end of the first wave. Disney and Spielberg briefly circled one more Hollywood version, with Roger searching for his mother in a story heavily influenced by Sunset Boulevard. But it disappeared before it reached the same level of development. And after that, the idea of a Roger Rabbit 2 was finally put on ice. But Roger and his friends wouldn't stay frozen for long, because the next time Disney got that itch to revisit the sequel, it would come back bigger, more magical, and reimagined as a full-blown musical extravaganza from the minds of some of Spielberg's and Disney's heaviest hitters.
Hey. Hey.
So what do you think, big fella?
Even after that first wave disappeared, Disney kept the idea of a Roger Rabbit follow-up alive, and even considered taking the Aladdin route with a direct-to-video sequel.
It's a sensational Disney adventure for the whole family.
There is nothing in the world quite like a friend.
I mean, he hit that. See, I'd never mess with this tiger off of Aladdin. That man was a cop.
But by 1997, a new classic Hollywood musical concept gained enough traction inside Disney to return Roger Rabbit 2 to theatrical status, and to call in one of the big guns who had helped carry the studio through the Disney Renaissance.
Alan Menken has won 8 Oscars,
Hey,
more than anybody else
I know that
alive.
right.
All of them for animated Disney musicals.
Composer and songwriter Alan Menken was given a rough story outline involving Roger and a human companion as vaudeville magicians before heading to Hollywood, where Roger's clumsy slapstick accidentally shoots him into stardom.
It's sort of a tribute to old Hollywood musicals. So this is a song from the prequel to Roger Rabbit, which didn't get made. It's called This Only Happens in the Movies.
Disney also
I
stacked
was about
the
to say,
project
hey
with people
man,
from Spielberg.
I was not trying to get copyrighted. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I'm glad he was going dumb in the pianos. He was hitting that dun 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 dun. I was like, oh.
Spielberg's orbit, including Sherry Stoner and Deanna Oliver. Writers on Spielberg produced shows like Tiny Toon Adventures and Animaniacs.
Hey. Well, y'all know about this show, bro. Right here, bro. Y'all do not know about a single pitch of this show, bro. Animaniac, bro. What was the stuff? And that Toon, what was that first one? It said Toon something? Toon something?
Writers on Spielberg produced shows like
Tiny Toon. Yeah, this was actually a good one too.
Tiny Toon Adventures and
Hey, how did they
Animaniacs.
ended it all? They rebooted this one too. I like the Animaniac. That was a childhood thing. I need to go back and watch it.
Draft the screenplay. Their version became a 1938 Hollywood musical-style prequel, explaining how Roger became a star, how he met Jessica, and how Toontown came into existence. In this version, Roger is still raised by a human farming family in Kansas, where he performs in a song and dance act with his brother Hutch. When the family farm is threatened, the two head to Hollywood to make enough money to save it. But once they arrive, Hutch is the one Hollywood notices first, while Roger is reduced to testing dangerous Acme gags for cash. Along the way, Roger falls for Jessica Rose Lee, who's being pushed toward stardom and remade into the bombshell image she'll later become known for. Roger also learns he was drawn by a mysterious cartoonist named Wink Dilly before being kidnapped and dropped at the farm by the jealous Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. And when RK Maroon realizes that Roger's chaos actually improves his movies, the studio rebuilds their latest cartoon around Roger, Hutch, and Jessica, with Toontown created as their primary filming location. After the wartime battles and noir conspiracies of the early drafts, this version was trying to make Roger feel more recognizably Disney, a Hollywood musical about show business, family, stardom, and the creation of Toontown. But Disney wasn't.
You know that scene when Bugs Bunny and Mickey Mouse talking to each other. So like is Warner Brothers still like on Bugs Bunny and stuff like that, and Daffy Duck and all them other dudes, or are they like sharing both of them, like sharing the characters and stuff like that? I don't know.
Just rethinking Roger's story, it was also testing whether Roger himself could be rebuilt for a new animation era. Alongside the script being developed, veteran Disney animator Eric Goldberg and a small team were tasked with putting together a new animation test. For this, two versions were created, one mixing traditional 2D characters with 3D CGI props, and another built around a fully CGI Roger.
So what do you think, big fella?
While the fully 3D character test looked extremely impressive for 1998, it was considered too labor-intensive and expensive for the time. And while the 2D 3D hybrid version was seen as a more practical option, Roger was now facing a very different Disney than the one that had tried to turn him into a franchise a decade earlier. Studio politics were messier, budgets were higher, and the animation landscape was starting to shift.
Some look at what's happening, they look at Hercules and they saying, Disney ought to be worried. This is not going as good as it used to go. And Lion King was big, and since then, it hasn't been as big. All those subsidiary businesses like consumer products lose their attractiveness. Michael should be worried.
Should I be? For a sequel that was already...
It sounded like to me that man ain't feel like he didn't want to say nothing, son. I don't know, that just me. It looked like he ain't want to say nothing. He was like this. Like, he was just constipating to see it. Like, should I say it or should I not?
Pretty expensive, technically complicated, and politically tangled, Roger Rabbit 2 became a much harder risk to justify. And once again, Roger found himself put into deep freeze, only to be thawed out a decade later for one final attempt at a sequel. But this time, what emerges is a very different Rabbit. And the more it's discussed, the harder it becomes to determine if Roger Rabbit 2 is actually alive or a ghost, trapped somewhere between this world and the next.
How did you manage to look in the very right place of a vacuum where the rabbit might be? I learned to hallucinate.
Which brings us to the most recent ill-fated attempt at Roger Rabbit 2, and somehow the murkiest one of all.
No, there's a good script sitting at Disney, but here's the thing.
By 2009, original director Robert Zemeckis was publicly back on board, and Disney had also commissioned the original writers to work on a brand new script.
I have a wonderful history with Disney, having done Roger Rabbit. And, you know, Disney is in the forefront of 3D and digital cinema. And in the tradition of Walt Disney, the company continues to be the most innovative in new technologies.
And while we know very little about the full story, Zemeckis has described it less as a traditional sequel and more as a direct continuation of what happened in the first film. The story would have moved Roger and Jessica out of the original film's 1947 Noir City streets and into the much brighter world of the 1950s.
Goofy? Is this Power Shot? Oh, go back. I see Goofy. I see that bear.
Noir City streets and into the much brighter world of the 1950s.
Oh, boy, I thought that was Power Shot for a minute. I thought I had to get myself understand when we are together and the present didn't know. If we listen to each other's heart, we find out never on it. It's just the reason why, for the first time that we'll be singing it eye to eye. Don't know how we sing it. How we see it eye to eye, but okay.
Has gotten much stranger with Eddie Valiant. By the time the script was completed, Bob Hoskins had retired from acting after being diagnosed with Parkinson's disease.
Oh, wow.
So Eddie would have appeared as a fully digital ghost.
When the sequel was written, Eddie Valiant was a lot of the story was that Eddie was no longer with us, but he would show up as a ghost.
I lost control, and there were sort of rabbits coming out of the wall. You know.
Much of what we know about this version centers on the technical side. Around the same time the script was being developed, Zemeckis was in the middle of a long-term deal with Disney to produce animated films using motion capture. So naturally, audiences wanted to know, was that same department store mannequin effect from the Polar Express?
That Polar Express, man. A Christmas classic, bro. If you have a girl for this the fall holidays, hey man, watch that Polar Express, man. I mean, I don't have a girl, but hey though, you know, I'm gonna still watch that Polar Express when they come on though, you know. On pajamas, might drink some hot chocolate, you know. You know what I'm saying? All alone.
Isn't A Christmas Carol about to be applied to Roger Rabbit and the other tunes?
How would you shoot it?
How do you mean?
Like motion capture or?
Oh, no. It would be done like the first movie.
Though in the end, even this version never made it past early development. And by 2024, after the script had been sitting in Disney's vault for more than a decade, Zemeckis was effectively calling it dead.
Here's what you have to know, and you know this. The current Disney would never make Roger Rabbit today.
But it's Disney's...
This is the thing about Disney right here. Why don't Disney, low-key, still have somebody dressed as Roger Rabbit? For like the older folks, like us people, like who knows, like the 2000 babies that knows like who Roger Rabbit is, bro. Look at this silly face, man. You don't think like somebody wouldn't be excited to take a picture with Roger Rabbit? Like I'd be happy. Like man, make a grown man jump and stuff. Who knows? But there's like so many other characters they could like possibly put into this Disney stuff too. I ain't lying to you. Especially if Roger Rabbit need to make his own return. I'm not gonna hold you. As a costume though. As a costume. I don't think they're gonna make a movie as Roger Rabbit. Unless somebody unless he give a mention as like one of the awards and stuff like that. But shoot. Like I told you. They had Oswald. Why don't bring all the other characters back? Huh, Disney? Betty Boo. Bring all the characters from earlier that was on that picture we was talking about. Bring them back. You know what I'm saying? Bring them back. For like a 90s theme or something like that. Like a 90s theme. Like, just bring them back.
reasoning that unlocks the bigger
let
mystery
him
of
sit
why
by,
a Roger
let him
Rabbit
sit by
sequel
Tower of Terror or something like that. Let him have a theme park right by Poppy the Salesman.
may never have truly been possible in the first place. And it also opens the door to one of the strangest twists that not
in your business to hit a cultural phenomena, you will hit a cultural dead end.
And this was the problem Disney kept running into with Roger Rabbit. Every comeback attempt was trying to engineer a second miracle. By this point, it no longer looked like a single abandoned sequel concept. It looked like a pattern.
Hold on, they in the background. They in the background of this picture. There you go right there. They right here. Oh crap, that's crazy. Dude right here. Who is this dog? He want to be Courage so bad. Oh wow.
Longer looked like a single abandoned sequel concept. It looked like a pattern. Each version found a new way Roger could almost work again.
Man, hold on, wait a minute,
Out
son.
of the spotlight.
Wait a minute. And I'm gonna let him talk for the rest of these little 10 minutes. But I gotta say something about Disney with this dog. Man, let's go back to right here.
It looked like a pattern.
Right here. Man, ain't this the same dude that was hating on my dude Mickey and Oswald and Mickey Epic Adventure #1 and 2? That man was hating since the jump. Man, hold on. And that nigga ain't never had teeth. What the fuck? Hating ass nigga. That nigga used to hate on my nigga Mickey and Oswald. Like shit. Bald head ass bitch.
Each version found a new way Roger could almost work again, and a new reason to keep him out of the spotlight. Because that original miracle, a collision of noir, classic cartoons, live-action performance, studio cooperation, adult edge, and
there you go right there.
live-action performance, studio cooperation,
I was trying to go by fast. No.
classic cartoons, live-action performance, studio cooperation.
There you go, right here. The Mickey and Buzz Bunny. I want to know why. How did they get together like this though? Like,
and everyone became more protective.
They could at least put Roger in the anniversary though. Him and his girl. Justy, yeah, they could have put him in the anniversary. Like, oh wow, Roger still there? Like, let him be in the cut. Like sitting there being in the cut, and you know, he was Goofy before Goofy. Well, let me stop saying that. No, Goofy was Goofy before Roger Rabbit. Yeah, I mean, yeah, does it really matter? They both goofy. I mean, it's what it is.
Of their own characters. That included Spielberg, whose relationship with Disney had already been strained by a dispute over Roller Coaster Rabbit, where Disney placed Roger Rabbit's second short in front of Dick Tracy instead of Amblin's own Arachnophobia, a move he reportedly did not take well.
Get out of here, you no good vermin!
Future Roger projects, it showed how quickly that original partnership was coming apart, especially as Spielberg began building his own animation studio with some of the talent that had helped bring Roger Rabbit to life.
I'd like to do this every year. I'd love to be able to have a feature film in animation come out for families once a year. So, Universal.
Steven Spielberg, ain't you the one that Swoozie Like, he your idol? Man, hold on, wait. I was gonna say hell no, but I'm like, hold on. Okay, so who's it? You know game. That boy no game.
Sort of my wish list. We found some office space and some workspace in London and formed a company called Amblimation.
And while Amblimation didn't last, Spielberg later co-founded DreamWorks, turning that competitive tension with Disney into something much bigger.
A new movie and entertainment studio was launched today in Hollywood, but this is no ordinary studio. It's headed by 3 of the biggest names in entertainment.
I think I could low-key make me my own version. Not like DreamWorks, but like some like authentic or something like that, like some. Wow. And just have like a bunch of cartoon channels and stuff like that, movies. I don't know. Maybe.
Entertainment.
The studio, as yet unnamed, will be in 5 businesses: movies, television, animation, records, and interactive new media.
Meanwhile, Disney never fully let Roger go. The massive Roger Rabbit theme park worlds were gone, but pieces of that future survived, most notably with Roger Rabbit's cartoon spin in Mickey's Toontown. But even after those old tensions faded and Disney had an entirely different leadership team, the larger problem remained. Nobody could solve what a modern Roger Rabbit was supposed to look like. He had become too old to be new, but too strange to be nostalgia safe. And by the 2010s, Disney didn't even see Roger as the biggest problem.
They can't make a movie with Jessica in it. So there's very little. So the Seaman and Price sequel script isn't ever going to see the light of day, as good as it is.
Really?
Because, I mean, look what they did to Jessica at the theme park. They trussed her up in a trench coat. You know.
Usually, this is where a Roger Rabbit 2 What Could Have Been video would end. A beloved Disney sequel doesn't happen because of creative clashes, studio politics, and modern brand discomfort. But that's not the case here.
We couldn't go through all that without an happy ending now, could we?
Because in late...
I wonder if somebody ever just go up to one of the mascots like Mickey or something like that and say, hey, you remember Roger Rabbit? That one video? You remember Roger Rabbit? Like, I wonder if you go like up to staffs and like ask them or something like that. I feel like they're gonna hit you with some that's sexual harassment to the workers and stuff like that. And I might do it for a Disney trip. If we go to Disney trip, I'm gonna hold you. We gotta ask the people around, do they remember Roger Rabbit, bro? Like, I wanna know if people really remember this man, Roger Rabbit. He gonna be in the back of my mind though.
2025,
so remember.
Roger Rabbit was suddenly making headlines again. And this time, the real twist wasn't just what happened to Roger, it was how Disney responded.
The Rabbit universe is expanding, and I can say categorically that it's going to be fun.
Mm-hmm.
Fans are going to love what happens. Fans are going to love what they see, and it's just going to be a very, very joyous time in Toontown.
It turns out the one major player quietly threaded throughout all of this is Roger Rabbit's original creator, Gary K. Wolf, because a series of disputes, lawsuits, and legal filings dating all the way back to the original film reveal a very different side to this mystery. The public paper trail begins in 2001, when Wolf sued Disney, alleging that they hadn't properly paid him the Roger Rabbit royalties agreed to in prior contracts. And it's what was in those contracts that shed light on a more complex relationship between Wolf and Disney than anyone had realized.
You know, Disney's Disney.
These 2001 court filings showed that Wolf's original deal included a share of Who Framed Roger Rabbit's profits, as well as a percentage of sales from the use of those characters, while also still allowing him to write additional books. But the relationship had already become complicated long before that lawsuit. Soon after the film's release, Wolf disputed the compensation he had received under the agreement, and the two ended up settling for increased financial visibility, as well as Disney agreeing to purchase the rights to his increased financial visibility.
I don't know who that is. I don't know who this is right here, but I'll be looking at it like this. And when she turned around, I'd be like, be scratching my head. And when she looked back up again, I'm gonna hit that.
As well as Disney agreeing to purchase the rights to his in-progress sequel novel, Who Plugged Roger Rabbit?
You know, most people see Roger Rabbit and Jessica as the movie characters, not the book characters. So for the second book, I had to decide, am I going to Disneyfy this or keep it as a kind of a dark, brooding, hard-boiled private eye?
Wolf ended up doing a bit of a hybrid. The main characters now appeared closer to their movie versions, while the stranger tone and details of his original book were explained away as one of Jessica's dreams. Disney, of course, never ended up using Who Plugged Roger Rabbit, but by buying the rights to that book in 1989, they had inadvertently started a legal clock that would keep ticking in the background as Disney, Spielberg, Zemeckis, and the other creatives kept circling different visions of Roger Rabbit's future. But the significance of that clock did not become clear until decades later, after Wolf had released 2 more books, pitched Disney additional movie concepts, and even explored a spin-off TV series set in Toontown. And while there was interest from different networks, they all had the same question.
Does he have the right to use Toontown?
While researching this, Wolf discovered something that dwarfed the question of Toontown ownership. A little-known provision in U.S. copyright law that can give an original author a narrow window to reclaim certain rights they sold decades earlier, even when the contract was supposed to last forever. And it just so happened that by the mid-2020s, Wolf was approaching the 35-year mark from Disney's 1989 purchase of Who Plugged Roger Rabbit. But the final twist in all of this is how Disney, the massive multimedia corporation famous for protecting its characters at almost any cost, responded.
I expected that this would be a contentious process. I expected that, who knows what was going to happen, but it was not.
How far was Disney willing to go once Roger started slipping away? It turns out, not far at all.
It was very civil, very courteous.
I wonder how.
Not far at all.
It was
I wonder
very
how
civil, very courteous, very straightforward. There was.
I wonder how long they took them to build that. To build this. They ain't even got to hold that much. They holding up the majority of the stuff. And this grumpy, stumpy, dumpy, dilly-doo, or something like that.
Slipping away? It turns out, not far at all.
It was very civil, very courteous, very straightforward. There was no intimidation. There was no threat of a lawsuit. There was nothing.
For decades, Disney had spent money, talent, and corporate energy trying to turn Roger Rabbit into its next big thing. But with every stalled revival and every abandoned future, Disney's biggest casualty.
Who is that?
Revival and every abandoned.
Hey, man, who is this dude? I ain't right. See, he kind of creepy. They got that dude off of Cat and Dog. That's his cousin.
Future. Disney's biggest casualty was time.
Ain't you on Cuphead?
And in the end,
and this man in Cuphead too. Man, hold on, wait a minute. I know that. I don't know. I ain't tripping.
Disney's biggest casualty was time. And in the end, they just let him go. The twisted part is that Disney didn't bury Roger Rabbit with one dramatic fight. They buried him with one comeback attempt at a time, until the years they lost became the thing that finally took him away. But while Roger remains tied to the Mouse House through nostalgia, the original movie, and his lone surviving theme park ride, he has become something stranger than a forgotten Disney character. He has become one of Disney's ghosts, visible, beloved, but no longer fully theirs to define. And now, after decades of false starts, Roger and Jessica may finally have another chance in the spotlight, just not the one Disney once seemed destined to provide.
The sequel, any sequels that we do, have to at least match the quality of the original movie in production value, in tone, in script content, in empathy, in character development. It has to be as good or better than what we did before.
But to see what happens when Disney gets in over its head on another character it can't fully control, check out my video on Dick Tracy.
Who? Man, nobody about to watch that nigga. Come on now. And watch some old head in the comments gonna be like, that was a good movie. I grew up on that movie. Nigga, we don't care. Well, I hope y'all enjoy this video. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe. We is on the road. That fat 700. And I'm out.